Hello.
Hello, and welcome back to episode 16 of Gals on the Pit Wall. I'm Jasmine.
I'm Catherine.
Welcome.
Brazil.
Do you know what? It was quite an exciting race. There were exciting parts.
Yeah.
Exciting laps.
There was, exciting bits, but overall it was quite, like, the end and the start, really exciting. Everything in the middle was a bit...
Meh, yeah.
I think because but I mean, we'll get there, but, like, at the start, because it was so exciting,
Yeah.
it was a bit of a downhill slope.
For sure.
But Brazil, ranked number 1 for overtaking out
Yes.
of all the tracks.
It is a really good track. I do enjoy Brazil.
It's funny that the tracks that you really like both have microclimates.
Do you know what? Maybe that's what it is. Makes it a little spicy.
It's also Lewis's other home race,
Yes.
because he is an honorary citizen of Brazil.
I don't understand how any of that works. Like, really, though.
I think-
How can you... It's the same thing. Do you know what? This actually does rattle me. Because it's the same thing with people who get honorary degrees from universities.
No, that one's weird.
Because I am not being funny. I'm working my ass off right now to get this degree. And you're just... A celebrity's going to swan in and you're going to
be fair,
hand them one.
The honorary degree makes sense if it's like something that's in their field.
Yeah. Fine. I'll concede to that.
But yeah, if it's like a fucking random...
This is just like Margot Robbie's swanned in and they've given her a degree in psychology because she was in the Barbie film. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm talking about celebrity-wise.
But Lewis was just a fan of Brazil and they went, do you know what?
We're a fan of him.
Yeah.
We'll give him citizenship.
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? It's Lewis Hamilton. Why wouldn't you?
Well, yeah.
I'd give him Scottish citizenship.
Do you know what? I also would.
And Haas, before this weekend, were the only team that have had both current drivers on pole in Brazil.
Ooh.
So, fun fact for you there. And also there was a new rule this weekend.
A new rule?
That they couldn't stop in the pit lane. This is after a result of people impeding in the pit lane and people not getting the penalties they should have, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So they couldn't stop in the pit lane, but you could stop at, like, the left hand of the exit.
Oh, yeah. Was
obviously
this to try and stop the impedance?
Yeah, because obviously this is a bit of a weird pit lane and that like the exit goes on for about 3 miles. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that was a new rule. So I don't think we had any impeding in the pit lane this time.
No, there was none.
See? It worked.
I'm glad they found a solution though, because it's been very annoying having everybody get all these impeding.
But then some people not getting things for impeding.
Yeah,
Max
which is
Verstappen.
equally as annoying.
I'm addressing him directly
In
as
the
if he's
eyes.
watching. Max Verstappen.
Mm.
Yeah, that's all my interesting facts for before the sessions. There you go.
Yeah,
Little tidbits for you.
lovely.
Free practice one. Were you tuned in?
I was not tuned in, so I will
was.
let you have this.
So started off strong with a screw fell off of Ocon, off his car, which gave Fernando a puncture.
Oh, great.
So that was, well, that's what we think happened, because there's not really any other reason that Fernando, this was right at the start.
Okay.
There was no other reason for Fernando to have punctures, so that happened.
Yeah.
Danny Rick didn't even get out the garage for like 10 minutes because he
Alright.
had floor damage.
Mm.
So he was stuck in the garage. George was looking really strong. He was... I think he went quickest on mediums.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone was trying out the hards, but they seemed to be having no success. Oh, and then Lando and Nico, looking back, had a bit of contact. But he didn't know Lando was coming up behind him. Just no one informed him, so they had a little touch.
A little love tap.
And Logie Sarge did a bit of off-roading.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just, casual for him.
Bit of tractor behaviour.
Yeah. And Albon was reporting issues. No. Logie Sarge was also reporting issues. I'm fucking reading my notes. Logie Sarge was also reporting issues with his front wing. But Williams decided to keep him out. But then eventually they brought him in.
Oh, okay.
And because basically the front of his car was lifting up off the ground.
Right.
So his front 2 wheels weren't touching the ground at all.
Oh.
So he was basically just driving on his back
Wheelie.
wheels, doing a wheelie. It was so weird, but it was quite funny.
Never mind.
And then we got a wonderful stat, I think it was from Ted, that whoever takes pole in Hungary wins in Brazil. Started in 2017 and has happened every year since, which is a bit freaky. But again, not this weekend.
No.
So that one's ruined.
Never mind.
And the Aston Martins were looking good for the first time since before the summer break.
I mean, now that the weekend's over, we can safely say the Aston Martins did a pretty good job today.
Yeah, they did.
They had a fairly good weekend, I thought.
And Williams were looking promising once they got Logan back out after his issues. He was actually up 9th quickest.
Ooh!
I know, I was getting excited. But that was kind of all the news, really. So
Lovely.
qualifying.
This is actual quality, isn't it?
Yes, Friday night, real qualifying, not sprint qualifying.
We should probably preface this by saying that the weather on Friday was taking all kinds of turns.
Yeah, like they said that rain was going to come in, but everyone was reporting different times that it was going to come in. Like some people were saying in 2 minutes, some people were saying 7 minutes, and then they were like, oh, we think rain's coming, and then it had already started raining in like turn 12. And
Yeah. And then it was like some people were like, oh, light rain. Some people were saying heavy rain. But then the rain that rolled in, now I'm not being funny, it looked like someone had turned the lights out, the clouds that were coming over. This was a thunder and lightning storm.
It was biblical.
It was. I've never seen anything like that.
The shots of, I think there's a shot of Max doing his lap.
Yeah.
With the sky as dark as it was, and it was very dramatic.
Extremely dramatic. And whilst all this was happening...
Well, that was in Q3.
Yeah. So in Q3, whilst all of this was happening in Q3, one of the grandstands was getting battered so badly with the wind and the rain that the roof came off.
It flew.
So, like, the videos, if you've seen them, like, everybody was running to safety. Like, it looked terrible.
Yeah, it was funny from our perspective, but not funny if you were there. Q1.
Yes.
Maximus Verstappen was complaining about the car jumping round.
Yes.
But as every time Max complains, it means nothing.
No, he still did a good job.
So, redundant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, we said about not impeding, but George Russell did impede.
Oh, yeah, George got a little impeding.
He impeded Gasly.
Yes.
Got in front of him in the pit lane entrance, I think. Maybe it was my meant right exit. But he impeded Gasly, even with that new rule.
And he got a 2-place grid penalty for that, didn't he?
Yeah, and then Yuki got impeded by Gasly.
Yeah.
So then it got passed on. So that was stupid. Oh, and yeah, it wasn't particularly... A lot of drivers used 2 sets of softs in Q1.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Which was interesting.
Very interesting.
George Russell's quickest. Charles was P2.
Yep.
Max was P3. Nico Hülkenberg was in P4.
Daniel and Yuki went out.
Yeah, Daniel went out. He basically had 1 lap. And it stunk. He completely missed the apex. And then he had a ton of oversteer, and that was that. And bottled it.
Yeah.
So that was upsetting.
It was. Because they've been doing pretty well the last few races.
Yeah, I don't know what they've done to that AlphaTauri to make it so quick.
They're slowly morphing it into this year's RB19,
That
aren't
is
they?
the thing, that next year is going to be the RB19.
Which is kind of unfair because, like, obviously it's like a very extreme, like, engineering level that these people have achieved.
Yeah.
But why should that be allowed to be passed to another team?
I don't think it's allowed to technically be passed, but it's going to be as close as they can get it. But imagine they make the AlphaTauri, it ends up being quicker than the Red Bull next year. How funny would that be?
That would be unreal.
And then you have to shift Max to AlphaTauri.
Could you imagine him in an AlphaTauri?
Well, we said that you should have done it this weekend.
Yeah, just for shits and giggles.
He would have still won, let's be real.
Yeah.
But it would have been fun. Q2.
Yep.
That is where the rain began.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of pit lane rain. Bars.
Yeah.
Right at the start.
So, Lando, he topped Q2. He was looking to be on an absolute blinder.
I was feeling in my bones that Lando was going to be on pole. I had it in my soul.
So did I. I really believed it with everything I had.
I was like, Brazil, this is it.
Because Brazil last year was a track where George managed to, like, come up from nowhere and, like, have his go of it. And K-Mag was P1. Like, it was a track where everybody was, like, it shook everything up.
Yeah. And my brain has farted though. I'm so tired and so hungry. And Lando's been cooking for
He has.
a good few weeks now.
Yes.
So I was like, yes, here we go.
It was looking very promising.
And Pierre knocked out Esti Besti.
Yeah.
The battle of the Alpinuses once again.
And both Haas's were in Q2 actually.
They were doing well.
They were.
It's such a good qualifying car, and then it just can't do the race for some reason.
It's not good for race pace, but for quali, it's the car to be in.
Great car over one lap, and then that's it. And then Q3 is when the heavens opened, quite literally.
Yeah, the rain was a pouring, so I think all of the drivers only had one fast lap.
Yeah.
To get a time in, just because of how the rain was. So Oscar in Q3, Sector 3, he spins out and ends up qualifying 10th because he spun.
He got by the rain.
He did. Do you know what? Sneaky Lance Stroll, he managed to get out there pretty quickly before the rain started. He set a good wee time.
But at the start of the session, the McLarens fucking sat in their garage at the start of Q3.
Yes, I
They sat in the
noticed
garage
that.
for ages. And everyone was saying rain forecasted 7 minutes to the session. I don't even think it made it to 7 minutes. It was
No,
way
it
before
didn't.
that. And you saw the Red Bulls. Like, Max was literally out there the second the session started. Like, he knew, and he got round and he got that lap in.
Yeah.
Which he got pole on
He
that.
did, yeah.
So they got it right. I'm sat there going, McLaren, why are you in your garage right now?
Yeah.
Time is of the essence here, and it fucked them over.
Yeah, because the red flag was waved, obviously, because it was unsafe to drive in, all of that.
Yeah.
And that, I think there was like 4.5 minutes left of the session, but because of how bad the rain was, they obviously couldn't continue.
Fernando was on the radio and he said it's night. Like, it literally went from
Yeah.
being blue skies to being black.
Yeah.
It was so dark.
It was extremely dark.
But yeah, it was so frustrating because Lando was just like, he was so on course for pole.
Yes. Oh, never mind.
And the teams were actually allowed to shut their garage doors because the weather was so mental.
Yes.
And they did like the post-qualifying interviews and Charles was shitting his pants from the thunder. So when we found out that Charles Leclerc is afraid of thunder.
Because they did those interviews in the safety car garage.
Yeah.
Which was so
But fun.
funny.
And I guess we should also say, because of the happenings of Q3, Lance Stroll. Lancelot
Third?
Strollovich, P3.
Unreal. Strolly Poly really pulled a mad one out.
Strolly Poly. He needed that. I was so chuffed for him, actually.
But he didn't even look pleased with himself.
No.
Like, he really didn't.
But that was like Charles. Charles was like, I can't believe that I'm up in P2. I'm sure, cool. I can't believe this has happened.
But, like, I'm not being funny. Lance Stroll, someone who is, like, notably never near that top, should have been elated to be third.
He's probably in so much shock.
Maybe. Or maybe he just totally has fallen out of love with the sport and he actually
just like, yeah,
doesn't
cool,
care
whatever.
anymore.
He's a very emotionless man in
Yeah.
interviews, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
But I did like the comparisons to Max, Charles, and Lance to Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yes, that was so funny.
Simon,
Oh,
Theodore,
dear.
and Alvin. Yeah, it was pretty wild. I was upset. I'm over it now,
Yeah.
but I was upset.
Yes.
Not even Max on pole. Whatever.
Then we moved to sprint shootout.
Yeah. Woo. Last
Saturday.
sprint weekend.
Yeah, thank
Thank
God.
fuck.
Honestly, I'm done with the sprints this year.
If they don't bring it back with some sort of reverse championship order, reverse grid, then I don't want it. Putting it
Or
out there.
even just like less complicated than it is now, because it makes the weekend so long. And like,
yeah.
I work full time through the week, so I can't catch Friday really unless it's really late.
Mm-hmm.
Then if I am wanting to watch the sprint qualify, then like the actual sprint and the race, that's taken up my entire weekend. Like, it's really like, it's taken up a lot of time.
Yeah, it was kind of fun for us during the summer.
Yeah, because there's nothing on.
But yeah, realistically, it's a lot. I don't think there needs to be. I think if you can redo it where there's not. Oh my god, I forget we're filming and I'm like, twiddling my second piercing. I just don't think there needs to be 2 qualifyings.
No.
It's
I
so
enjoyed it
long.
when the sprint was qualifying for the race.
Yeah. I think if you want the sprint to be its like own separate race, there needs to be something in it for the smaller teams.
Yeah.
Because basically it's just another few points for Red Bull and another few points for Merc and another few points for Ferrari.
Yeah. It's literally just the cherry on the cake for all the top teams.
Yeah, it's just helping them. It's not really helping anyone at the bottom.
I know.
Which is why it needs to be reverse championship order.
Do it and do it now.
Yeah. Shootout one.
George, I had him as doing something or other.
He was there. He was present.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but did Nico Hülkenberg not go 3rd fastest at one point?
I believe he did.
In a Haas?
That's what I'm saying. Qualifying. That car's magnificent.
The vehicle.
Over 1 lap. And him driving it as well.
Yeah.
Because he's been up in like the quickest times a lot more obviously than K-Mag has been in that house.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. I know you don't like.
No, and I'm not a Hulk fan. That's widely known on this podcast. But I can respect that he's put a Haas 3rd fastest.
Red Bull had a couple of, one issue really, in that Max was about to start a fast lap, I think.
Yes.
But he didn't know Checo was behind him, and Checo wasn't meant to be starting a fast lap, and then Checo kind of came out, and Max had to come out of his.
Yeah.
And he was on the radio to GP saying,
You're supposed to tell me.
Yeah, I didn't realize Checo was going to be in a fast lap, and GP was like, no, neither did I.
Yeah, like they both just didn't know. So a little bit of miscommunication on the Red Bull pit wall.
I just like when there's any sort of happenings with them. It gives me a glimmer of hope that something might go wrong.
Same.
And then Esteban had a big old smash.
Oh, yeah?
He basically... Right. You could see this 2 ways. So Fernando's trundling along.
Yeah.
Esteban's on fast lap.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando is where he should be on the track, but he accidentally has a little jolt to the left as Esteban comes round.
Yes.
But actually, I think Esteban had a lock-up even before that point. Yeah. What I've written down, this is my view on it, is that Fernando didn't see Esteban coming.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And Esteban lost the car, and he clipped Fernando and went flying out and smashed into the wall. But we didn't see it in real time. It just cut to him, and the car was mashed up, and I was sat, and I was like, oh my
because
God.
Esteban had been having trouble controlling the rear anyway.
Yeah.
So it looked like he had just been too far up on the curb, and then he realised Fernando was there, had a little panic, and then ended up
and then so that was
blasting it into the wall.
another puncture for Fernando this weekend.
What a shame. The man's got no luck in Brazil, does he?
Well, you say that, but...
Well, that's true. Not foreshadowing anyway.
And also the puncture, because it was obviously sparking up, it was starting to set fire to the plank under the car.
Yes, the
That was
actual
awkward.
plank, like the floorboard underneath his car, was like on fire.
But what really fucked me off about all of this is that literally Esteban's still basically spinning out in the car, and he's already on the radio going, it's Fernando's fault.
Yeah, he didn't even for 1 second be like, oh, hold on, like, this is, like, crazy, I've just spun and hit a wall, or anything like that. It was just like, I hate him, his fault.
And Fernando's so nice about it.
Fernando got on the radio and went, oh, God, that was big, and then he's like, oh, I think I've got damage.
Esteban's like, oh, it's Fernando. No, it's not. You lay off Fernando. I like Esteban as well, but I'm starting to like him less.
Yeah, he's kind of grating.
Yeah, that was nasty. And then, so SQ2, obviously, no Esteban. But Fernando also had to then retire. Because he'd made it through.
Yeah,
because he'd still put in a quick enough
he couldn't
time.
Race.
Yeah, that was him gone. Charles got impeded by Red Bull.
Yes, he did.
Did anything come of it? No.
Obviously not. Red Bull Conspiracy Club.
Oh yeah, and Aston Martin did their human wall again around Fernando's car to stop people
when they
seeing
were
in.
fixing it.
And then one of the engineers is like literally over the halo,
Yeah.
leaning down into the car.
His
the core
legs were in the
strength.
air.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
It was. I was very impressed.
But that was kind of the highlight. And then SQ3, Paul for Lando.
Hamilton had a wee slide in Q2 though, no?
Oh, I've apparently not written that down.
Yeah. His rear went. He had a little... whoop.
The marks were not like they were on form in practice, and it kind of just got a bit worse. Bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's gonna make me sneeze.
Oh, Christ. It's cold season.
Oh God. And yeah, Lando's first pole since Sochi.
Yes.
Fateful day.
Yes.
But
But we were hopeful because this was like, oh yay, Lando's on pole. Like maybe he'll win a sprint race. It's not a full race, but like it's a sprint, and this is exciting. Maybe he'll win.
did he fuck?
Why would he do that?
So, yeah, Lando's never led a lap in the sprint before, and he still hasn't because it went real bad. And Ferrari were running old softs, which meant they had kept a fresh set of softs for Sunday.
Yes.
Which was good strategy from them.
Yeah.
Lap 1. Lando has actually a really good start. Like, I don't want what we're about to say next take away from the fact that his start was really good.
Yep.
It was the second phase of the launch. Max got on the inside line and got him, and that was that.
Max just had a little bit of a better look at where to go, I think.
Yeah, so that was disappointing because obviously once Max gets in front, that's kind of it.
Yeah, Max just pushes his rocket button and goes.
Oscar went off track. Lewis did a really nice overtake on Checo at the start.
Oh
yeah? Yeah. So that got the Mercedes up to third and fourth. And then George got Lando for second. So it went from bad to worse for Lando.
Well.
But it got better again.
Good.
Lap 3. Lewis and Checo had some really good battles in this sprint.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
See, I didn't watch the sprint because I was busy, but also I feel like watching the sprint the last few times has then ruined the race on Sunday for me because it's like watching two of the same thing.
Yeah, I'd say the sprint was maybe a little bit different, but not really. It was still the same cars battling, I guess, today.
Yeah.
Lando reclaimed second in lap 5, easy peasy. Apparently, so at lap 7, Alex was on the radio reporting that oil was coming out the back of Valtteri's car.
Oh.
But never heard anything more on that.
Okay.
But apparently Alex was sliding around because there was oil coming out the back of Fernando.
Right. Well.
No, coming out the back of Valtteri. Fucking hell. I'm losing my mind. Lap 8, Checo then gets George for third place, but then George gets it back.
Ooh.
There's some good battles between Checo and the Mercs.
Okay.
But then lap 10, Checo gets George again.
Well.
Lewis is on the radio not understanding where he's losing time, because basically by this point, so we're about halfway through the sprint,
Yeah.
the Mercs are going backwards. They were doing so well at the start in third and fourth, and then they were just dropping further and further back. And Lewis is getting frustrated because he's like, I don't actually understand
what's going
how this is happening.
Yeah.
All the battles were kind of at the back.
Right.
Because Max and Lando had they pulled away from everyone else at this point. Like, that was a guaranteed P1, P2 though.
Okay.
But Lando wasn't even really particularly close to Max. But they had just
gone.
Disappeared into the sunset, basically. There was some good fights between Danny, Rick and Carlos. Sort of lap 14. And Oscar was kind of lurking behind them. So then Daniel lost the place to both Carlos and Oscar.
Oh, that's sad.
And then Pierre and Fernando were right on him as well. Lap 15, there was a good battle between Gasly and Fernando, and they were actually wheel to wheel.
Ooh.
But Fernando obviously got him because he is Fernando. And Lando was driving quicker than Max at the end. It was pretty, there was some good battles, but it was still not as good a sprint as obviously Qatar and Austria were both better sprints than this. It was
oh well.
It was fine because I had nothing else on. You know what I mean? But if I had taken this specific time out to watch that, I wouldn't.
Would have been a bit upset, maybe.
Right, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have felt like I'd missed anything if I hadn't seen it.
Okay, so I'm not worried then.
No, but what was interesting was so Max and Lando obviously pulled away, and then, oh my God, who fucking came third? Checo.
Yeah.
And then it was the Mercs behind Checo. And the gap between Max and the Mercs was over 25 seconds on a 24-lap race.
25?
So Max was gaining over a lap a second over both Mercs. So that was... You just knew on today, on Sunday, it was going to be pants for them.
Yeah.
That was not a good sign.
My God. I can't believe it's 25.
Yeah, it was over 25
Wow.
on a 24-lap race.
Goodness.
The rocket ship was rocket shipping. But for Lando to
Definitely
stay on
was.
him...
Yeah, that's really impressive from Lando.
He was
Lando
still up
had a
there.
great weekend.
Yeah. My God, get this man a win.
I know.
I can't do this anymore.
That takes us then to the race, right?
Yeah. I loved getting to just skim past the sprint. I'm like,
Yeah, right. Just
yeah.
pie that up.
It, like, I probably would have had more to say about it, but in terms of, like, it just wasn't that memorable.
Yeah.
Really. Like, I wasn't... No, I've got nothing exciting.
We can now kiss goodbye to the sprints for the rest of the season.
And that format of the sprints. Who knows what it'll be next?
God, because I don't feel that this year has worked very well.
Yeah.
Well.
Before the race, though, I want to take us back to the grid walk with
Yes,
Martin Brundle.
I also did want to do that.
I love the grid walk, especially when it's Martin.
Yes.
Because it's his thing.
Exactly.
I love seeing what random people he will grab.
Yes. Of all the random ones today.
The best two interactions. First of all, Machine Gun Kelly.
And he looked like a banana, please.
And I used to be a Machine Gun Kelly fan, and I can say I went to see him a year ago in concert, and I've not interacted with any of that man's content since concert was fine. I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So to see him at F1...
Crazy. What a crossover.
Because he's also giant, and as you said, he was dressed in yellow, so he was like a massive banana.
Like full yellow.
And he obviously couldn't hear Martin. And like it just was so awkward.
Oh, it was so awkward. They were having like two completely different conversations.
And like Machine Gun Kelly's probably off his face on something.
Yeah.
Because it's Machine Gun Kelly. And he was trying to get Martin to do like air guitar, air keyboard with them. He's like, do air guitar with me. And Martin was like, oh no, I did piano lessons and I only know where the C is. And it was so awkward. He should have just done the air piano with him.
I know.
I don't know what his beef with it was, but...
Never mind.
Sorry.
He was probably getting told to go.
Yeah.
Then the second interaction that I needed to pick up on in this. So we spoke about this in our 5 news bites.
Yeah, I think we spoke about it on the podcast as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So wee Bernie, like the founder of modern F1,
I couldn't believe he was there, to be honest.
Crazy that he is there because this is just off the back of his big HMRC tax trial,
suspended prison sentence.
Yeah. So Martin sees him. He swans over there, and the first thing he says is like, "Surprised to see you here after your HMRC scandal." And he's like speaking to him about this being like, oh, well, you can afford to be here with your millions. Like, just joking with him. Like, I was like, but he was not taking that as a joke. Like, he was, like, looking like, oh, my God.
It's so funny.
So funny.
Martin was on smoke.
He really was.
Oh, my God. And then the national anthem.
Oh, my God. This is, like, a whole separate issue.
So it, like, the ukulele's out, and it zooms out. It's this wee kid playing it. And we're thinking, oh, my God, is he going to sing?
Yeah, we were like, oh, dead cute.
Cuts to this woman. Now... At first, we couldn't decide who was going wrong here. We thought it might have been him, because obviously blame the child.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, it was probably her.
Yeah.
She was not singing in the right key, and also she forgot half the words.
She forgot the national anthem.
This horrendous bit of silence.
And then the crowd started singing to cover for her.
And even the wee boy with the ukulele, he was singing it all.
He was singing the whole
thing. Should have mic'd him up. God, the sneeze.
Oh God, it's not coming. Oh, never mind. I think we're good.
Nice. But, it was so awkward.
Oh, so awkward. But the thing is, I reckon he actually would have been really good on his own because he was good at playing his wee ukulele. He was singing all the words. He looked happy as to be there. And she was just like, everything was wrong.
Yeah, he carried it.
He really did.
Next year, bring him back.
Bring him back. Get him soloed.
And then, so we get to our formation lap.
Yes.
For fuck's sake. I can't. There's only there's only 2 more races left. It's not been Charles' best season. All I want is for him to finish as high up in the driver's standings as he can and get some good points on the board. I've given up the hope of him getting a win. Whatever. Formation lap.
It's not even lights out and away we go.
No, formation lap.
The formation.
It cuts to Charles. He's in the barrier. He lost his hydraulics.
He had hydraulic failure
into the barrier. And then his radio message, as always with Charles, broke my heart.
It was really sad. He came on and said, why am I so unlucky?
Yeah, why the fuck am I so unlucky?
You just want to give him a hug.
Even his little interview after, I was like, oh my God.
Right?
Please, someone hug him.
It's heartbreaking because you can tell he really is trying.
It's just been an absolute fucking joke this season for him.
Yeah, it's not been his season at all.
Like, he's I know some of the stuff this season is his fault.
Yes.
And some of it's Ferrari's fault. And
Yes.
some of it is pure just unluck.
But it's been a shitter for him nonetheless.
Ah, it's so depressing. Honestly, can he just like do the next races and like fucking finish them? So we can, my God, me and Matt Gallagher, we need to go to therapy together. Cause
Yes.
we're not coping.
Then, they fix all of that. And we're back for lap 1 of the race.
Yes.
So I have wrote this down in lap 1 and lap 2.
Yep.
In my note. Okay, so lap 1 and lap 2 are together for this note. So turn 1 of lap 1, we have a massive collision with Alex Albon and Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah.
The cars were pretty much smashed to bits and in the wall.
Yeah.
And from this collision, a wheel was lost. And that tyre went flying, bounced off of Yuki Tsunoda's car, who had been run off the track from this collision, and then whacked Daniel Ricciardo's car, breaking his rear wing.
It's such a treacherous, like, journey down to turn 1. It's like 200 metres or something. It's long.
Yeah.
And in that, it took out many a person.
Yeah, Piastri took contact in that collision.
Yeah.
Yuki got pushed off the track. Daniel obviously got his wing broken.
And basically, in the start, Alex kind of hit Hulkenberg and then smashed into K-Mag. And then Oscar got caught up in it. And then, as you said, the tyre fucking bounced along and then took out Daniel.
Yeah.
And then, but also in this, Lando had got himself up into P2.
Yeah, so that was the exciting part.
So, some losses and some wins.
But then obviously they bring the safety car out because you need a safety car after that amount of damage. But I actually had to drive through the pit lane instead of the track.
Yeah.
Because there was that much debris everywhere. But then they obviously red flagged it because they had to clean all of that up and fix the barriers.
And it took so long. It was like 20 minutes or something.
It was like 25 minutes that it took them to do it all.
But in that, Oscar and Daniel had managed to get into the garages and their teams managed to fix both cars.
Yeah, because Oscar initially got the call to retire. So this was before it was red flagged. He had the call to retire.
And I was going to have a breakdown because that was my 2 favourite drivers already fucking out. I was like, why am I here? What's the point anymore?
By lap 2, they were gone.
Very cool. Sure.
But the race restart ended up being lap 4. And it was a standing start.
And Oscar and Daniel start from the pit lane because the rule is if you, during a red flag, have to go back into your garage, put your car back in your garage and work on it, then you have to start from the pit lane.
Yeah, and it was lucky that they even managed to start again at all. Yeah. So we were pretty happy just to see them back out on the grid. But they did have to start from the pit lane, which then meant they were 1 lap behind.
Yeah, so that was like their race ruined, basically.
Yeah. But other than that, it was a pretty clean start. Everybody got round the corners fine, and it was just everybody claiming their place.
And Fernando managed to get Lewis, so Fernando was moving up in the world. Lap 7 is my next note.
Me too.
This is when Lando was looking promising.
Yeah.
He was right. Like, well, he's within DRS.
Yeah.
He was right in the slipstream of Max. Like, he was on him. And
I think he was like 0.3. Like, he was close.
And he got very close. Like, he had a look at making a move to get in front and he just couldn't do it. And that was kind of the end of his shot at it,
yeah, because he'd started gaining a slipstream on Max. But then obviously lost it because Max has jet fuel.
Yeah, and I just think also a lot of just dirty air into his car. For sure,
yeah, because he was choking up all of Max's air.
You can only stay in that so long, so that was the end of the excitement.
For sure.
But they both pulled away again, ahead of everyone.
Yes.
They were zooming off. And I don't have anything else to lap 10. George on the radio this weekend, man. Him and Lewis, comedy duo.
Never a dull day.
There is definitely going to be a Drive to Survive episode about this.
Yeah, for sure.
With that shot of Lewis walking along and George pulling up behind him.
Yeah.
George's on the radio already in lap 10 asking to be let in front of Lewis.
After saying at the start that he was going to be a team player and that he wanted to do everything for the team.
Yeah, he'd already been on the radio saying, yeah, team effort this weekend, guys, let's do this, woo!
Yeah.
And then lap 10 had already gone,
Let me
in
through!
front. I love George, but George in a race is infuriating. But I love him as a person. You don't.
No.
You're looking at me with so much like... Okay,
I just don't get it.
I love George. But not like this.
No.
Same with Lewis, though. I find him quite infuriating on the radio.
Yeah, for sure. Then lap 14 rolls round.
Yeah.
My boy Logie Sarge, he got Hulkenberg.
For 14th. It was looking so good for Logan. He was flying.
He was having such a good little race.
I was so excited for him.
Me too.
George was also on the radio again in lap 14 and says, are we working together or just doing our own race? With quite a lot of venom in it, really. Really
a lot of venom, and also confusion because he's then said like 5 different things. He's wanted to be a team player, he's not wanted to, like, he was all over the place.
And then Checo overtook him. And then he overtook Checo.
Yeah.
And then Checo overtook him again, so that was that.
Yeah.
Bit of a battle.
Lap 17.
Is this Yuki
or
Tsunoda?
Maybe lap 16 even. So the back of the grid, they start going into the pit lane.
Real early.
Very early. So this was projected to be a 2-stop race. Because it's quite long. It's 71 laps. Like, it's a long race because it's like a short timed circuit.
Was it like the 4th shortest track or something?
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's so short that when the helicopter camera's up, you can see the entire track. Like, it is short. But yeah, the back of the pack kind of started pitting lap 16, which was we all thought fairly early.
And then Joe went and it was like,
yeah.
Okay.
So then lap 17, Yuki, he had a little moment.
Yeah, a wee slide.
He had a little slide and put his tyres in the grass.
Actually, I've got a lap 16. So merely 2 laps after George was on the radio. George was on the radio again. And he's on the radio getting sassy about tyre management. Because I think he was being told he needed to manage his tyres through turn 11 and 12, possibly.
Yeah.
He's like, well, do you want me to manage my tyres or concede places? Like,
yeah, he came on and was really snippy.
Yeah, he was not a happy bunny. Half of the entertainment from this race was just George on the radio, really.
Yeah.
A good bit of sass from him.
Definitely.
Lap 18.
Go for it.
Checo darts down the inside of Lewis for 4th. Checo was on a blinder.
He
really took Mexico personally and came back this weekend and went...
Literally.
I mean, it's like... It's good for him that he was doing so well, but equally he isn't the fastest car.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse for being so far down.
Yeah, there really wasn't.
Realistically, he should be in second every race, miles ahead of everyone the same way Max is.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Yeah.
Just saying. Checo.
Factual information.
And Logan pits in lap 18, but he pitted, just drove through the pit lane, and then came out.
Yeah.
And we still don't know what the fuck happened there.
No.
So we don't know if like
it was like a bogus call and he fell for it himself, or like what?
They accidentally pitted him, or like it was weird.
Very odd.
Or it was a graphic that was wrong. But he did drop down places, so he must have gone in. So who actually knows what happened there?
Not us anyway.
Lap 19.
Yeah.
Lewis pits to undercut Checo.
Yes. And then lap 20, Lewis was reporting a problem with his left wheel steering right after pitting, so...
And Russell then pits.
Yes.
And then immediately following that, Checo pits. But the undercut was in fact successful for Lewis, despite his dodgy tyre.
Yeah.
He was still going round.
Then...
Checo in this battle though, and Checo gets him at turn 4.
That's true.
Because Lewis was out of position in turn 1 and 2. Rookie mistakes from Lewis Hamilton.
Very. And this is supposed to be his track.
I know. This is his home race.
One of.
And he let them down.
Yes.
And then Joe retires.
Yeah, lap 23, Joe, he goes.
Why? What?
I don't know. We never really got an explanation for that. He just went in. My next note is at lap 26.
I've got lap 25.
Go for it.
George told Plan B.
Yeah.
Potential 3-stop, I think. it's just not going well for Mercedes.
No,
Like, actually,
they
after the
didn't have a
race,
fab weekend.
Toto looked depressed.
He did, bless
That
him.
was a man defeated.
Yeah.
But I kind of suspected, just because of George's success a year ago, I kind of expected him to bottle it this weekend.
Yeah.
But I don't think he bottled it. I guess it was just the car.
But I think he kind of was... He came into it too cocky, I think.
Maybe a little bit. A bit too. But you've got to be somewhat cocky, I guess. I mean, you've got to
Well,
be
for
confident.
sure, you have to be cocky and you have to be confident. But, like, I feel like because he won last year being, like, kind of the underdog pick to win because Mercedes were not performing last year, that he kind of thought it would be the same this year.
And then Lance overtook George then for a 9th. He literally breezed past him like it was smooth.
Yeah.
No effort from Lance. It was actually really nice to see Lance back on form.
It was, you know, because we've not seen this side of him for a long, long time.
Yeah. Since literally the start of the season.
Yeah.
Go Lance. I'm not a Lance hater. There's so many Lance haters out there. Especially on TikTok. I get so many TikToks slandering Lance Stroll. I know, like, because it's the situation with his dad.
Yeah.
But realistically, if your dad was going to buy you a Formula 1 team, you'd be fucking chuffed, right?
Right.
Because supporting the dreams. If my child had a dream and I had the money to support it, damn right I'd be in there supporting
Right,
it.
you would.
If I was billionaire sugar daddy Lawrence Stroll, of course I'd do it. But it's the same way. One thing people don't talk about is that a similar situation occurred with Lando's dad. Obviously not buying him a team, but Lando's dad paid for him to get into specific places. The whole of F1 is a money game.
Yeah.
Like, that's just it.
It's a fact.
I don't think you can be hat mad. I guess the only debate is that there are probably people who deserve that seat a little bit more.
Yeah.
I.e. Felipe Djokovic. I think he should really be racing, but he's signed on for another.
Which he did actually say in the grid walk that he wasn't happy with, but he's happy for the opportunity, obviously.
And he's happy to stay with Aston Martin, he said, but he's also a bit disappointed.
He's disappointed that he's not racing because he is getting on a bit for the lifespan of an F1 driver.
And I think in his head he must know that he is probably better than Lance, or could drive that car better. I mean, he'll know what times he puts in the sim.
Exactly.
So he's either got to hold out for Lance and Lawrence to sack it off, or Fernando to retire.
Yeah.
Which is right, Fernando's never retiring.
I know.
He's going to stay forever. The oldest F1 driver in history, that'll be him.
Yeah.
95 and he'll still be going round.
Walker and everything.
How old will we be when he's 95?
Not a clue.
75?
Oh, really?
He's like 20, well, he's 20 years older than me.
He's 40, yeah, he's 41.
Yeah. Christ. My God. And now I'm lost of where we were.
Lap 26. So the top of the pack start pitting.
Yeah.
A good wee reshuffle going on. Then lap 27.
Lap 26, Carlos and Yuki in the pit lane.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that nothing came of that, to be honest.
Well, this was lap 27, this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was a good pit stop from Ferrari. They weren't messing about, and they only
had one car to work on, and they were missing. I think they were missing a lot of people because they were struck with illness.
Half their pit crew, yeah.
So actually, it was quite good for them that Charles was out because it meant
they could focus on the one. But that in the pit lane, Yuki was coming in for his pit stop, and Carlos was released.
Yeah.
But it technically wasn't an unsafe pit release because there was space, but there wasn't enough. But Carlos handled it really well. He kept control of the whole situation and just drove alongside until he could get through. But
I'm sure Yuki had a few choice words on the radio knowing him.
Oh, I'm sure. Then lap 35 is my next note.
Oh, I've got a couple more, but I don't know if anything. Lap 27, Max boxes, so Max in P1.
Yeah.
And then Lando obviously boxed right behind him. They needed to get Lando in before this.
Mm-hmm.
They fucked up. McLaren cocked up.
Yeah.
And Max had a 2.2 stop and Lando a 2.6.
Not good.
No. Okay, I just have a note with a sad face in lap 30 that says Pierre gets Logan for 12th. Because I was rooting for Logan.
Heartbreak. I'm always rooting for Logan.
And Carlos gets Esti Besti for 8th.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then lap 35, Carlos overtakes both Mercedes. And it's flying.
At one point, he was looking like he might have had a P3 in him.
Yeah, I really thought that he kind of was going to go for it.
He was sneaking his way up. Lap 33, George was back on the radio complaining about Lewis again. Lewis being slow, apparently.
My God, there was a clear theme this.
There is beef. Drive to Survive are actually going to sprint away with that.
Oh, they are going to be flying with it.
World War Mercedes.
Literally. My next note's lap 40.
Yeah, I've got a bit of Carlos before that.
Yeah.
Carlos was closing in on the Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
And he got George and Lewis, so he's up in 6th.
Yeah.
He was making moves.
He was doing a good wee job.
Lewis was really struggling with his tyres. Like,
Yeah.
he was losing them, which is not
He was
good.
not having a good
In
time
lap 35.
whatsoever.
And then, lap 40.
Bottas retires. The second Alfa Romeo and the third Ferrari engine to be out in the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, so if you're listening and you don't know, Alfa Romeo use Ferrari engines.
Yeah.
And so obviously Charles was struck down by issues out with his own powers.
Mm-hmm. So he's gone.
And Joe was also gone. We still don't know why he was gone, but we're going to have to assume that it was for similar reasons.
Yeah, some kind of failure of some kind.
And then Valtteri goes.
Yep.
So that was disappointing. So I was really worried about Carlos for a long time.
I was.
Oh my God, they're going to get him.
Yeah.
The universe is going to strike him down.
Ferrari must have done something terrible in a past life, I'm telling you.
I actually can't cope with it. And then at some point around here is when I blamed you for all of this.
Yes, I did get some blame.
Because if you had never assigned me Charles in that cocktail making thing for the first race of the season,
Yep.
I would never be suffering the way I am now.
And you know what? I can only apologise, but I am glad that I am not suffering in the sad Ferrari camp alone.
Any camp that's not the Max Verstappen camp is a bit depressing, to be
That's
honest.
true. This season, anyway.
Yeah.
And last.
And
potentially next,
Woo!
yes.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna come back next season with fresh optimism.
I hope so.
We're gonna get to preseason testing and everything's gonna be a shitbox again.
Fabulous.
Yes.
When's your next note?
I've just got random, nothing was happening, so I just kind of was noting stuff down. Like, lap 43, Pierre gets Grussel for 8th.
Yeah.
Thrilling. And then Pierre starts reporting brake issues.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
How many people have we lost at this point? We lost Charles.
Good
We lost Joe.
you.
We lost Valerie.
Yep.
Oh, well, there's still more to come.
There is.
Oh, and Kevin and Alex.
Yeah.
Probably the 5 people down.
Then lap 57's my next note.
Oh, I've got lap 46. Lewis complains about the wind.
Yeah.
The pair of them, I swear, the radio messages were coming up from Mercedes were constant.
Yeah, the Mercs were really into Spotlight this weekend.
Because in lap 47, another radio message to Lewis saying, let's use the tyres now. And he goes, I have been for the last 5 laps, dude. And
yeah,
then
he was laughing away at the message.
And then he pits.
Yeah.
Because he had nothing left. And Perez pitted to undercut Fernando.
Mm-hmm.
But Fernando then pitted immediately after and came out ahead of Checo still.
Yeah, which was very productive, Fernando.
Well, this was crucial, really.
Very crucial.
In the end, lap 49, Lewis is complaining, saying they should have gone for the hard tyre.
Yeah.
But the hard tyre had been shit all weekend.
Very.
Like, when they tried it in the practice, it was awful. So I don't think that would have benefited him at all.
No.
Just my hot take. But he's obviously, he knows more than me. He's Lewis Hamilton.
True.
And there was only just, there was 20 laps left at that point.
Yeah.
You can see it to the end on a soft.
Yeah.
And then lap 50. Have you not got anything? What was yours?
Got 57.
Oh, well, we're going to be here for a while then. Lance was up in 3rd. And he was doing 116s on old tyres.
Yeah, he was doing a good wee job.
I wanted a wee Lancelot P3.
Would have been nice.
I was happy with what we got, but, it would have been quite good.
Yeah. Just because we never really see him up the top anyway, so...
Yeah. Lap 51, Lewis complains again because he was in DRS behind Gasly,
Mm-hmm.
who had soared past him.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't catch up.
Yeah.
And then Pierre gets fastest lap. This man went from having brake issues to putting in the fastest lap. I don't know what happened there.
God.
There's just a lot about pit stops. Oh, Esteban lap 55 set fastest lap and he overtook Logan for 11th.
Soul destroying business.
He was hanging on there. by this point, everyone on the grid was like getting really far apart from each other.
Yeah.
Like really for the entire middle part of this race, no one was that close to each other.
Yeah. I'm sure there were
occasionally-
quite a few like 44-second gaps. Like,
Yeah, and occasionally you'd get an overtake, and then lap 57.
So, Max pits. Now, Lando is then ahead of Max because he pits, and he's 13 seconds ahead. So the hope is starting to build in our watch party because we're thinking,
Hang on,
hold on,
second. We're
could
getting
Lando
close.
win this?
Because Fernando in third at this point was 30 seconds behind Lando.
Yeah,
So what our thing was, if Lando had stayed out, worst case scenario is his tyres are shit, but he still comes second because
Yeah.
he's got that much of a gap ahead of Fernando. He may as well take the fight to Max and try and keep that first. We're getting really riled up here. Going,
very.
my God, this is going to happen.
Yes.
And then they pit Lando, and we're like, great, cool. His dream's crushed. I do like get it, but also
It
I
would have
reckon
been
they
fun
should have
to
risked
see.
it.
Yeah, because like he still would have had his P2.
And actually, in the end, because Fernando ends up fighting Checo, which we'll talk about, Fernando would have never caught up to Lando because he was too busy fighting off Checo.
Yeah.
Also, around this time, lap 58?
Yeah, lap 58.
We lose Grussel.
He retires because of a power unit and oil failure.
Yeah, well, the temperature was getting too hot, and they just
Yeah.
were worried that it was actually going to explode.
Yeah.
So that was the end of it for him. And then Logie Sarge moves up to 11 because of this.
Whoop, whoop.
We're like, yes!
We were
Logan
very
on for
excited.
points.
Very, very excited.
But alas,
Never mind.
no points for Logie Sarge, but still a good race from him.
Yes.
I still can't believe the Lando thing. I do get why they did it.
No, I do understand, but at the same time,
But I was like,
infuriating
You
business.
should have just stayed out just for funsies.
Yeah.
And then lap 61, Lando does start chasing Max down at this point.
Yeah.
And he's on fastest lap.
Yeah.
And the gap starts closing. And we're
Yeah.
like, okay, at the end here, if he pushes now and keeps going, he could be on to...
The hope was rising again.
And Checo, this is when he starts trying to fight Fernando.
Yes.
But Fernando was not yielding.
He was not having it today, which I'm glad because we got some really good battles from that.
Yeah, Checo could not get past this man for a
No.
long time. And they also... So Oscar at this point, obviously, he was last
Yes.
because he was a lap down. Him and Daniel were in their own little fight. But Oscar was still, losing time. And it basically came out he still had damage. Even though they'd put his car back together and
Yeah.
fixed it, he's just still had damage. There was nothing he could do.
Yeah.
But for the sake of my fantasy team, I'm really glad both him and Daniel stayed in and made it to the end because I have
Yes.
both of them in my team.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I don't think I've lost any points.
Oh, unreal. I'll have lost points.
So I'm chuffed. I'm closing the gap down to P2 in
Yep.
our own league.
Yes.
I can't wait to do a Gals in the Pit
I
Wall
know,
league
it's going to
next
be
year.
so fun next year.
Because I'm going to win.
Well, you heard it here first. Big claims from Catherine.
It's my first season watching it. I had no idea it was going to start. And I'm about to get into P2.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I'll give you that.
Pretty good going.
Then lap 69.
Yeah. Carlos.
Carlos was having massive downshift problems.
His pedal's not responding.
No, his pedal was not responding
So,
at all.
Of course. The other Ferrari.
We were like, great, here we go.
But
He held it together. He held it
Stuck
together.
out. Lap 70. Checo finally gets third off of Fernando. We're
Yes.
gutted. We're not
Oh, heartbroken.
We just wanted Fernando back on that podium.
Yes.
But Fernando does not give up.
No.
Although he said himself that at that point he was like, right, that's it, I've lost the podium.
Yeah.
And then he saw Checo make a mistake and he thought...
I'll
Yeah.
capitalise on that.
So lap 71, literally last lap,
Yeah.
Fernando gets
And,
him
like,
back.
all the way to the finish line.
It was a full drag race at the end.
Oh, it was so good.
And it was almost a photo finish.
yeah.
Checo was on Fernando. They were
Yeah.
side by side going across that finish line. And that was the highlight of the race, was that fight. And that's why Fernando was my driver of the day.
I respect that.
Because from, literally a few races ago, where he was down in the bottom in that stupid car.
Yeah, that's so true, actually.
To be up in P3 and to be able to fight off the much faster Red Bull,
Yeah.
which is also another reason Checo shouldn't stay at Red Bull. Because he could not get past that man in a, not even a slightly faster car, a much faster car.
Yeah.
So shout out to Fernando. You are driver of the day for me because that was stunning.
My driver of the day was Mr. Lando Norris once more.
Enough, yeah.
I'm sure he's been my driver of the day for like 3 weeks in a row now.
Well deserved.
But yeah, I just thought he put in such a good drive today, and he was really challenging Max, and we've not really seen that the whole season.
Yeah, definitely at that start when Land was closing the gap on Max.
Yeah.
Max must have been shiting himself a little bit.
Oh, surely.
Christ, he is up my arse.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was exciting.
Yeah.
And Lando, I think he won driver of the day again.
He did, yeah. It was by like 25% or something.
Fastest lap, driver of the day, P2 for Lando.
Unreal.
And his wag was there.
Yeah.
So
Max, farewell.
So it was a good weekend for Lando. But like, it's how many more P2s until he wins?
I know, it's so annoying, and I really thought I had a good chance this weekend.
It's breaking my heart. Like, I wanted it to be this season.
Me too, but do you know what? He looked really chuffed with himself on the podium. So.
Yeah, I'm glad that he looked happy because I felt quite sad.
And Fernando was so cute on the podium.
I love a wee
He's
Fernando
so
podium.
cute.
That is like, I don't think anyone could be happier to be on the podium. And considering that
Yes,
man's been
and
world
he's
champion,
always happy.
like Charles when he's in P3, compare that to Fernando.
Right?
Literally-
Craziness.
Yeah, but Vegas is our next race.
Yes, it is.
There was actually a talk about cancelling Abu Dhabi because of the conflict.
Now,
going
this
on.
was scary because imagine Vegas being the last race.
But Abu Dhabi's still going ahead.
Thank God.
They had a meeting about it and they decided.
It's safe.
Yep. But Vegas, 6 a.m. for us.
Sore. But you know what? I am going to get up and watch it, and I'm going to make a conscious effort to do so because I truly feel that this is going to be the only time it's going to happen.
I think so.
Or at least until the contract is like fulfilled. I don't know how long the Vegas contract is.
No idea.
But if it is like a multi-year contract, then I feel that it will, if it doesn't get just scrapped altogether, they'll fulfill the contract and it won't be signed back.
How many turns is it again?
6 tops.
For fuck's sake.
I'm sure it's like, because it's in a 4, and I'm sure there's 1 chicane.
It's shaped like a weird upside down like cow.
Yes, that's a really good way to describe it. Or like, you know those suitcases that look like animals and have
Trunkies,
wheels?
yeah.
Trunky. It looks like a trunky.
Nice. But you did make a good point. I think it was you that made this point earlier when we were watching the race. About the Williams.
Yeah. No, it must have been Eve.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Eve, for stealing this.
Yes.
No, Eve made a good point then. I thought it might have been you. Eve made a good point about the Williams having really good straight line speed.
Yes.
So this could be their chance.
Albano, Logan.
Logan's third home race, come on.
If Logan wins
time
at the
lucky.
Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Well, I wouldn't jump that ahead. When I said I thought it was going to be a good race, and when Eve made this point, I don't think we're quite thinking that good.
Please,
I think we were
I'm
just
trying to be
thinking in the
optimistic.
points.
I'm trying to be optimistic. I had to sing the national anthem last week. Please.
True, you got to do the full one.
Yeah, I'll get practicing.
So, fingers crossed.
Yes, big
Who else
fingers
has got good
crossed.
straight line speed at the moment? Fucking Red Bull.
The Ferraris aren't too bad, you know, straight line speed at the minute.
Yeah, they're just bad
When they're
everywhere
actually
else.
on the track.
You know, and all parts of the car are working.
McLarens.
Yeah.
I suppose they're kind of better in the corners though, aren't they?
What's interesting is that it is an unknown track.
Yeah, because no one's done it before.
Imagine Lando wins it. Him playing the
Oh.
game and doing Vegas on the game was foreshadowing to him winning at Vegas. I'm
Yeah.
calling it now. Putting it to the universe. Lando Norris wins in Vegas.
Done, locked in,
Happening.
manifested.
Yeah. But Lando nonetheless has moved up in the Drivers' Championship.
He has. Everybody's been moving up a little
It
bit.
is very close actually at the moment.
I think Carlos might have been taken over
he
this
has. He
week.
has
That's
indeed.
heartbreaking for me.
Ferrari weirdly are still fighting. They're in the fight for second in the Constructors' Championship, but they are currently 6th and 7th in the Drivers' Championship.
Poor. So poor.
Which is particularly poor considering the only non-Red Bull to win a race, not talking about the sprint and excluding Oscar,
was
Carlos.
yeah.
So the current driver standings, obviously Max. Then it's Checo, and he, I think, has extended his lead slightly
Yeah.
ahead of Lewis now. Then Fernando is on 198. Lando's 195. Carlos 192. So they're in a battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Then Charleg is on 170 and he's got
Yep.
George Russell behind him on 156. And George is well clear of Oscar in P9.
Never mind.
But Oscar now is going to have to fend off Lance a lot.
Ooh, and if Lance is on a
actually,
comeback,
Lance is in
then...
the top 10 on 63. Pierre Gasly's on 62 in 11.
Ooh, so it's kind of close down the bottom then.
Yeah.
How exciting.
And Esteban's on 46, so actually... And then at the bottom, it's all very close. Imagine being Logan Sargent, though. And I do love you, Logan. But imagine being 21st this season.
Oh, goodness.
Ahead of only Nick de Vries. Liam Lawson did, what, 4 races?
Yeah.
And he is further ahead than you.
Oh.
But
What a wee shame. But
another
it's still...
point.
But Logan's still not been confirmed for next year.
Oh, yeah. I know. Maybe
Yeah.
they're waiting for Vegas.
They maybe are. Just to
'Cause
see.
Actually, I take back everything I said. No, it was still valid at the time, but I do think they should keep Logan now.
Yeah, do you know what? He's kind of come around. He's doing a little better now.
Now that he seems to have gotten used to the car a bit, touch
Although-
wood, I don't want to jinx him.
Do you know what? As much as I am rooting for him, I'm rooting for him because I feel like he needs these points for his mental health. I think he's had a real shitter. And everyone's shitting on him. But I do think that there are maybe other drivers who could come in stronger.
I just think that Williams are building something really good here and are looking to being a winning car again.
Yeah.
And they've made a great move forward with this new car.
Yes, they
And
have.
obviously they'll then look to having better drivers.
Mhm.
But you're not going to get better drivers if you fob Logan off after one season. Because
That's true.
you're doing a Red Bull and you're showing no loyalty.
Yeah, no, you're
Because
right.
Red Bull's mega downfall.
Yeah.
And they only make up for it because they have the quickest car.
I suppose
Is they
you're
have
right.
no loyalty to anyone but Max.
Yeah.
So Williams need to at least show that they are committed to training drivers up to
That's
drive
very,
that car.
very true.
And I think that Logan should have another season. And if he honks next season, sack him off.
Done.
But I think there's still potential for him to get better.
Perfect.
I see
I
hope.
hope so.
And actually, there's been a couple sessions where he's actually not been that far off of Alex.
Yeah.
So I think the potential's still there.
Hopefully.
And also, I don't know who you're going to replace him with at this stage. Like, who would actually want to then go and drive the Williams other than possibly Felipe?
Yeah. Or Lawson might go in.
True. But I think he's holding out for the old
Yes, he's
Red
holding out
Bull.
for the Red Bull seat.
or the AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good sign for AlphaTauri for next season that they've managed to turn this car around at the end.
Exactly.
Because I'm assuming that they're then... I mean, they've got the fucking RB19.
Yeah,
and-
there's no point. They're going to be good next year.
God, can Yuki handle that speed?
Don't do my man Yuki like that.
He's just an angry little man.
Bless.
I felt bad for Daniel this weekend, actually, because he was, like, doing fairly well again.
Yeah.
It's not like he's had many races this season.
No.
And he spends this race. To be fair, the gap was over a minute because obviously him and Oscar were a lap down.
Yeah.
And at the end of the race, it was like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
That's pretty decent,
Yeah.
considering your car was looking like it wasn't going to make the restart.
Yeah.
So hats off to him.
He did a good job.
But like, I feel that this weekend was rather underwhelming
Very underwhelming.
for Brazil.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Never
hype around
mind.
Brazil, and I just feel that...
I feel like, well, Brazil usually ends up raining. It's like big
Mhm.
rain. And there wasn't really any of that. So it was kind of more of a tame version.
Yeah, the action was all at literally that turn one, first
Yeah.
lap, and then the end, really, against that battle between Checo and Fernando.
Yep.
And that was kind of it. And Lando's little glimpses at P1, but no such luck.
Never mind. Well, that's kind of it for your race
I
recap.
know, I feel that was quite underwhelming from us.
Yeah,
And we actually have the video back this week and everything.
I know. And it's not foggy.
God, I can't wait to look back at how I look when I'm editing.
And my posture's going to be terrible.
Yeah, so I've been
though.
sat like this again.
Never mind.
And we've got a good few new followers on the old TikTok.
We
account.
do, yes.
So hopefully you'll be seeing some of this video.
Fingers crossed.
But no, you will be seeing some of this video.
So head over to our socials
with
whilst
our
we're at it.
Horrendous posture. Especially
Yeah.
our horrendous podcast.
Oh
Don't mean
God!
that.
Don't be
Sorry.
slagging the pod off.
The pod, no, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
So we've only got a couple more episodes of the pod
Yeah,
for
there's
this season.
2 more races left. I think maybe 4 more episodes of the pod.
Yeah, so we've got obviously Vegas and Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
And then we're going to do a Christmas episode.
Yes.
And then I think we'll take, because we've got exams and such.
Yeah, we do.
So we're going to take a little bit of a break.
A little breather.
And we might sporadically come back with episodes.
Yeah, if there's any news, if we find out where Logan Sargent's going or
you know,
staying.
We'll come back. If people are missing us, we can do some episodes.
Exactly.
And Drive to Survive will obviously come out at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, racing starts again in February.
It is really quick this time.
So it's really not that long.
No.
Which is crazy.
Nuts. Really nuts.
So we'll have to gather the troops for first race again.
And then we'll get our fantasy league on the go for this.
And you can all
pod.
join.
Yes, which is so exciting.
I'm going to win.
You heard it here first.
Setting it out to the universe. I'm going to have it. Because hopefully...
We'll have to come up with a good prize to give the winner.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Something fun.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah. I'm ready to go. I haven't had dinner yet.
Yeah, you need to go eat.
10 o'clock, so I'm starving.
You need to go eat and I need to go sleep.
Yes. Woo! Smashed it.
Oh, you were double high-fiving?
Yeah.
Oh, and we're crisscrossed.
Oh, nope. This is a bad idea. That's going to be like some weird ASMR. Nice.
Bosh.
Bye.
Bye.